how you install a magazine tube extension kit on a Savage Renegauge shotgun. Hey guys, Todd Helms with Wingmen by Eastman's, and I'm here today getting prepped for a snow goose hunt. We're leaving in the morning for Nebraska with Platte Basin Outdoors, and I need to put one more extension on this Renegauge shotgun. So these are the extension kits that Savage has for the Renegauge. They're coming a little handy dandy tube. There's directions in here as well. You've got the extension itself. It's a 9-shot extension. It increases the capacity of the Renegauge to holding 9+1 rounds. 3-inch ammo, I'm able to fit 8 rounds in the mag, 1 in the chamber, so 9 rounds total. This is the extension itself. This is the clamp, the magazine extension clamp. This is going to clamp to my barrel. You want that because you don't want your extension getting bent in the field. This makes it more rigid. They include a spring extension. I'm not going to be replacing the spring that's in the magazine tube of the shotgun already. I'm going to be adding to it so I get all the force needed to push those rounds into the magazine of the shotgun so the follower can lift them and the bolt can push them into the chamber. How those springs are going to go together is there's a spring coupler right here. When I first opened this kit, I looked at this little chunk of plastic and I was like, man, what is that? It became apparent very quickly once I read the directions, I have to have this piece. So this is pretty simple. The first thing that I'm going to do is make sure that my action is clear. It's open. There's nothing in the chamber. There's nothing in the magazine tube itself. I'm going to lock this open so it stays open like this. And the next step is to get to work. So I'm going to try to do this as smoothly as I can. Anybody that's messed with a shotgun knows that this spring that's already in here is under a lot of tension and it's probably going to come out. I'm going to do my best to contain it, but we just got to work with it the best we can to get it back in there. It's a simple process, but it takes a little bit of doing. There's 2 parts in here that you're going to want to make sure that you retain. The first thing is there is a plug in the magazine tube of this shotgun to limit the capacity to 3. I also have my magazine cap right here. I want to keep those. I put them in a baggie and I mark them with a Sharpie on them so I know that I have them. You don't want those things floating around loose because you're going to lose them. So the follower, the red aluminum follower stays in the gun. All we're doing is putting in the spring and putting in the spring and the spring coupler and putting it all back together. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is loosen this magazine cap. Comes off. I'm going to set this aside. Now, I am going to have to disassemble the shotgun a little bit. Actually, I'm going to have to take the barrel and the forearm off completely because I have to get the cap off, and there is a retaining rod or retaining bar that goes in here to hold this in place. So I'm going to have to take this stuff off. I'm actually going to close my action to do that. And it slides apart really simply like that. I'm going to set that aside. And this is my retaining bar right here. I'm going to depress the magazine tube cap. And I'm just going to push that through. You can use an Allen key, anything you have that can push that through. It pops out. Don't lose that. That's not going to go back in the shotgun right now. I'm going to keep that, and it's going to go in that baggie with the magazine cap and the plug and this magazine tube stopper. Now you can see right here, my finger, there's spring in here wants to come out. You don't want to have your face over this. Probably a good idea to be wearing safety glasses, even though I don't have them on right now. But this is going to come out. And I'm going to try to keep it from going crazy. There's my plug. I'm going to set that aside. I've got my magazine tube spring. I've got the spring extension and my coupler right here. I've got all this stuff laid out. Now, in order to make this work, I need to assemble the shotgun back together again because I can't thread this, I can't put this on over the extension. So it's real simple. You guys know how to disassemble a shotgun. Slides on. Yep, we're good to go. Now, this is the fun part. I would recommend kind of getting down like this. Put this spring back in your tube. And this is the part where she gets a little bit tricky. You're going to start feeding that spring back down in there, and it's going to fight you, guys. It's going to want to come out on you, and that's okay. You need that tension. Just do it a coil or two at a time. Keep feeding it down in there. You've got your follower that it's getting up against down low. Now, I'm going to hold that with my finger so it doesn't come out. And I'm going to put that spring extension on there like this. I'm going to hold it. On goes my spring extension. I'm going to feed that in a little bit. This is the easy part. I can't reach it. So, like I said, it's a little bit tricky, but it just takes a little bit of doing, and you'll get it. Get that on there, and it's trapped. Now everything is in there, and it's simple as screwing on your magazine tube extension. Screw it on, and I make sure it's really tight. Right there, that's as tight as it's going to get. Now, this shotgun is usable as it is. I have, for 3-inch, I could fit 8 rounds in this tube. I've already tried it. It's a 9-shot extension. You'd have to use 2 3/4 to get 9 in here, but that's how that works. Now, it's usable as it is, but this is going to keep things from getting bent and getting all out of whack. It's simple, guys. It slides over your barrel like this. This one's a little tight, so I'm going to loosen it completely and open it right up. And it just slides on. Now, I like to put it right in the middle, about like that. So I have pretty even spacing, maybe 4 fingers spread out right in the middle. That's going to give it the most structural integrity if it's right in the middle. It's also going to keep that point of balance. This doesn't weigh much. It's really light, but anything you put out on the front of your shotgun does affect that balance. So I'm going to slide it back just a touch, right about there. I don't want any play in that magazine tube extension. Now this is critical. Keep it from sliding, tighten it back down. And you don't have to reef on it, but you want it tight. It doesn't have to be, you don't want to break these screws off, but you want it tight. You don't want it sliding around on you when you're out in the snow goose field. All right. That's about as tight as I'm going to get each screw. That's it right there. That, in a nutshell, guys, is how you install a magazine tube extension kit on a Savage Renegauge shotgun. It's probably people that are better at it than I am that do that even smoother, but this is a handy dandy little kit straight from Savage. It makes your regular 5-shot Renegauge into a 9-shot snow goose street sweeper or sky sweeper. So that's it right there. We're cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Thanks for joining us. Till next time, guys, we'll see you in the field.